let's begin with news just in. Uncertainty around the continuation of the inquiry against suspended public protector Advocate Mkhwebane's fitness to hold office, as Advocate Dali Mpofu refuses to participate in what he calls an illegality. Of course, this was part of the proceedings today, as there were various arguments about whether or not this matter should be adjourned. So let's speak to our parliamentary reporter, SABC reporter Bulelani Phillip, who is joining us live now. Bulelani, thank you so much for your time. I mean, listening to what has been said, we can't take part in further illegal activities. Good luck. We'll see you again, or maybe you're not. How did we get to this point?
Well, good evening to you, Bongiwe, and to the viewers at home. Obviously, it's been yet another eventful day in the Section 194 inquiry. And of course, it's not been short of any drama as we have been accustomed to be. Of course, the Advocate Dali Mpofu, who is representing the suspended public protector, actually initially made an application to the inquiry that says that they want the inquiry to actually halt its work pending a review application that will be brought by the suspended public protector at the Western Cape High Court, where she's going to be challenging the dismissal of her recusal application against the chairperson, Mr. Mkhwebane, as well as the AMP, Mr. Kevin Milem. Of course, it did lead to some arguments where they give reasons as to why they believe that the work of the committee must be halted, saying that this jeopardizes whether, if the court had to find in favor of the suspended public protector, then that would render any decision that has been taken after the dismissal of the recusal applications to be unlawful. And therefore, he was cautioning that the committee should actually hold its work so that it does not get into a situation where it sits and takes decision that will at a later stage be declared unlawful. But of course, the committee in the end did decide that it's going to dismiss that application. But in his response, Advocate Dali Mpofu, to answer your question, Bongiwe, was saying that they would then withdraw from the process because their mandate was only in as far as the pending court applications that they will be making to the High Court, and therefore they will be recusing or withdrawing from the process. And also, he then walked out together with the instructing attorneys, which is Sianego attorneys. But upon the committee trying to get the clarity of whether Advocate Dali Mpofu was withdrawing permanently, the public protector said she had not given any instruction of whether the instructing attorneys as well as her legal counsel, Advocate Dali Mpofu, would be withdrawing. And therefore, she said she needed time to actually ascertain how did they come to this decision, because she had never given such an instruction. But at the same time, she's saying that in any event, whether they continue to withdraw from the process, she would be then entitled to seek another instructing attorney to represent her. And therefore, that means that at this stage, she's unable to proceed with the inquiry and participating in it without any legal representation.
So what does it mean then, Bulelani, for tomorrow? Because we do understand that there's a witness that was due to be cross-examined. Do they continue? What has the chairperson said in this regard?
Look, at the moment, everything is kind of in limbo, if I can put it that way, because the committee is now seized with the responsibility of doing some backroom work, where they will then have to decide how they proceed forward. So the decision of whether the committee will continue with the outstanding two witnesses that were supposed to actually testify as part of the conclusion of the evidence leaders in terms of the testimonies. Now, that work, it's neither here or there whether they will continue tomorrow. So the decision of whether how this committee is going to proceed ahead will only be known tomorrow morning.
And it's interesting because, as you say, we've been seeing so many twists and turns in this particular process, and it's no surprise that this recusal matter will then find its way into the courts now. So let's see then how this one unfolds tomorrow, Bulelani. We'll watch it through your eyes. Thank you so much for bringing us up to speed. That's our reporter, Bulelani Phillip, who was watching developments in that Section 194 inquiry. And of course, now there's uncertainty as the legal team was calling for this matter to be be adjourned while the recusal application is now going to be brought before the court. And you'd remember this is the recusal application that they made for the chairperson as well as the DA's Kevin Malam, who's a member of parliament in that particular committee, to then recuse themselves from this particular process. So it's going to be interesting to see then if they are then going to be able to proceed tomorrow, and we'll bring you more on this particular story.